church business is you meet some mighty strange people. And I love that. You meet people who are interesting, and you meet people who are maybe a little bit off the wall a little bit. And I appreciate that. One person I met back in Pittsburgh, his name was George Walter. And George Walter looked like any hippie from the 60s. A ragtag, denim jacket, and jeans, and a long gray beard, and that's who he was. George had an interesting life. He went to seminary to be a Catholic priest and a Catholic deacon, but he had a crisis of faith in the middle of this journey where he thought he wasn't worthy to be ordained. So he told the bishop, I'm going to take some time off. I want to figure out who I am and where God is calling me to be. So in this course, and this was back in the 70s, and those of you who were around at the time know things were going all which way, whatever direction. He decided, well, I'm going to just be a hospital orderly and work as a hospital aide and help people that way and get my life together before I figure out what the next step is going to be. He slowly decided that his life wasn't meant to be wearing a collar, that he just didn't have the faith. Instead, what he wanted to do was he wanted to walk. And when I say walk, I say walk. He wanted to walk from Pittsburgh to Jerusalem. And he did. He just got up and started walking one day, packed his bag, and started walking. He ended up taking a boat to Spain, walking across Europe, down to Israel. Then he decided, Russia needs some prayers. So he went up and walked on up to Russia, and across Siberia, and into Alaska, and then down through Canada needs some prayers. Then he's like, I've always wanted to see Our Lady of Guadalupe down in Mexico, so why don't I take a visit down there? So this man has ended up walking around the world about 2 or 3 times. He just published his autobiography, really interesting. It's called The 40,000-Mile Man. And it's his faith was about walking. And I think what's interesting, both in our first reading and in our gospel today, we hear about walking in darkness, but also the apostles walking out from their professions and following Jesus. Walking, not biking, not taking the train or plane, walking. And I think walking is probably one of the most profound spiritual practices you could do out there. And it's because you're connected to the ground and you're also connected to the environment that you're in. And I think in reading the life of George, who then turns his name to Pilgrim George, you see this tradition of walking. And in walking, you become a witness. And in your witness, you become connected to the communities that you come in contact with, the people that like you, people that don't like you, people that understand you, but people that you don't understand. You also become aware of the world that you're a part of. You're incarnating into that world. I think one of the dangers that we sometimes have in our modern world is we get in a car or an airplane and we literally fly over places and people without ever connecting to people. And I think that idea of walking was so important to Jesus. If you think about it, Jesus was constantly walking in his ministry. And Nazareth and Galilee that we heard about today, and where Jesus starts off his ministry, was not an urban center at all. It was rural. These are kind of the country back roads. So if Jesus came to Philadelphia, he'd be hanging out with us. Not those Philadelphia Center City folks. This idea of connecting, I think that's what really Jesus asked us to do. That his ministry was, yes, there was healing, there was teaching, but it was also about connecting to the way you live, to people to know, people you don't know. And that's really the epiphany that we're celebrating in this gospel. That Jesus is revealing himself just by his mere presence, by walking, by leaving behind people and baggage that you have from your past and connecting with new people. And I think this is where the church needs to be. How many times I come across churches, not this one, that are disconnected from their communities. The community might have changed, people might have moved out, new people have moved in, and they have no connection to the place where they are. And I think that's a shame. That's completely avoiding what the mission of the church should be. Jesus requires us to connect with the people we're most in contact with. So maybe what we as a prayer practice can do is that we go forth from our building and connect with people. Connect with people at work, at the gym, grocery store. Connect with people that you know and people that you don't know. That connection is what Jesus is asking us to do. We see here the first apostles leave everything behind. They cast their nets and they leave their boats and they follow Jesus. Maybe we need to think that through a little bit more. How do we as Christians in the year 2020 connect with people and neighbors who may or may not know us? People that may or may not understand what the church is about, who Jesus is. How do we do that better? Because I think that's really what Jesus asks us to do. Not beat people ahead with Bibles or accost them, but just walk the same road they do. Embrace the same people. I was hanging out with Buddhist monks yesterday, and that's another story. And it's interesting in the Buddhism, when you become a monk, it's called, there's a great Pali word, which I will not even try to pronounce, but the English translation is to go forth, or another translation is to walk out of your house. That when you're ordained a Buddhist monk or a nun, you are walking out of your house. Maybe we need to think about that term of walking out, walking away. How do we walk into the world that we're a part of? How do we touch people who are living in isolation or lonely, who have forgotten community? How do we walk away from things that weigh us down? But how do we connect with new things? I think that is where Jesus asks us to do this Epiphany Sunday. How do we show forth Jesus in the world? We show forth Jesus by connection. Back to Pilgrim George. Pilgrim George, I've met him a couple times, and he's so interesting. I just love interesting people. And how he connects with people is simple. He just talks to them. He shares with them. Yeah, he's a little strange looking, I'm gonna be honest with you. He runs around Pittsburgh with a long beard and a staff and an icon of the Virgin Mary over his chest. Why not? You know, got it, good for you. But he connects with people. He talks to people that no one else would talk to. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I know not all of us are extroverts, and many of us are introverts. But the best form of community building is just looking at people in the eye and recognizing that they're valuable. It doesn't matter if that person is rich or poor, educated or uneducated. It doesn't matter. Give them the value that they're due. So maybe this Sunday, it should be called Walking Sunday. That we walk. And so maybe this week, take a walk. Take a walk in your town, here in New Hope, or Lambertville, or Frenchtown, or Doylestown, or wherever. Connect with people. Connect with your town. Pray for those people you connect with. Or maybe see something you don't always see, because now you're looking in a different way. Because Jesus was a walker and not a runner. Jesus took time